Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the Italian import of Ari Aster's Midsommar in 4K. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. You can also find me over Twitter and Instagram at Movie Guy 365, as well as over at the Disney Magic Hour podcast. I will leave a link for that in the description. All right, Midsommar is here. Now this is going to be the Italian import version. There is no other physical release copy of the 4K edition. So if you want the 4K disc, you have to order it from a place like Amazon Italy. And how much, typically a new 4K disc is, here in the States will run you about $30, $35 for a Steelbook edition if you're into Steelbooks. So this one costs, after fees and everything like that, about $36, $37. Not too bad. I mean, that's shipped. So, as me being a huge fan of the movie, they do actually have, this is, for me, a must. I am a physical media collector, and so if I gotta go to Japan, if I gotta order from Italy, I'm gonna do it. If there's a title only available in those countries, and, God knows why they're doing it this way, but as it were, Italy got the 4K physical edition of Midsommar. I'm going to talk about those other little there's other little aspects like subtitles and that sort of thing when I come back. But yeah, I wanted this in a physical copy. They do actually have a digital version of this in 4K on iTunes and Vudu, I believe, so you can get it from there. But I want a hard copy of my movie, and that's just me, and I know a lot of people feel the same way. All right. So we're going to do a quick unboxing, and we're going to come back and talk about how the 4K stacks up in the video and the audio. Okay, so Midsommar in Italian, right down there. And then, of course, that's translated for Midsommar, English, of course. What I like is a nice little embossing to this. It probably doesn't pick up too well on camera, but also the title and the graphic here and on the back as well. We got nice embossing. Just overall is really nice. I can't remember the last time I saw a Blu Ray or 4K disc that had this kind of detail to it. It's really cool. It's really nice. As you can see the information there, HDR, subtitles, all that information is on the back there. Now I also want to mention, as we dive into the disc, that there is a separate director's cut, of course, in this. That is only going to be in Blu-ray. That is not the 4K edition. That will be relegated to the theatrical cut only. And it comes with like a postcard right there. And then, of course, I believe one of these other discs is the extra. So we have the director's cut here, which is standard Blu-ray. And then the Blu-rays are also region locked. So keep that in mind if you're going to import. You will be able to watch the 4K disc on any player, but the Blu-rays are region locked. So you're really only, if you're importing it in here, you're only getting the 4K edition. So, all right, let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. Okay, so as I mentioned, Midsommar is only available in the Italian version. So that's going to leave a whole lot of questions, because there are several moments of this film that are subtitled and that sort of thing. So whether they're going to be subtitled in English or not, that's kind of always a mystery when you take a chance ordering from a different country that, of course, speaks alternate languages. So it's not wasting any time. Midsommar, as far as the languages go, they do have only Italian subtitles. So if you are, looking for a closed captioning option, that is only going to be available in subtitle. Now all the dialogue that is spoken English by the English actors, of course, is being spoken in English. There's no baked on Italian subtitle, so you don't have to worry about that. It's only optional on the disc itself. Now, as far as when something's baked in, let's say the opening credits, there aren't that many, but it is in Italian. So if that's something that's really going to bother you, that may preclude you from wanting to pick this up, in Italy. But the end credits are all in English, no difference there. But anytime that's spoken by the Swedish, any dialogue spoken by the Swedish, which would be, of course, here in America translated into English, is translated into Italian. That also could be a deal breaker for a lot of people. Now, for me personally, it kind of adds a little something when you don't know what they're saying. It really kind of gives you that extra layer. I wish there was a way to change that as far as the dialogue options, but unfortunately it's not. So keep that in mind. You really have to really want this film, I believe, to, if you want to go it that way. No, excuse me. But, you know, as I mentioned earlier, there is a 4K iTunes edition that will give you all those options and everything like that. So for me, it's important to have a physical copy. But let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. So the picture quality, as far as Midsommar goes, is amazing. It looks fantastic. It really has, and I'm going to just for purposes, I'm going to also talk a little bit about the iTunes 4K version, just quickly. Anyway, the picture quality, I felt, as I reviewed on the iTunes version, is so much better than the standard Blu-ray that we got. I felt the Blu-ray was incredibly oversaturated, washed out. Several scenes in particular just didn't look good. There were scenes that looked great. I felt a lot of the interiors looked awesome in the Blu-ray, but when you come to the 4K, it's so much more natural. It's a beautiful looking picture. It's very, you know, the HDR, there is only HDR on this, no Dolby Vision, but HDR looks really, really good. It's a fine looking image overall. I would say comparatively to the Dolby Vision on the iTunes, I would say it's pretty even. You have the lower bit rate coming from a digital version versus the much higher bit rate coming from an HDR. I really believe the HDR shines here. I think, no question on my mind, the physical disc release definitely outperforms what you get digitally. It's like the dark levels are nice and deep. Color is natural. It looks great. There's nothing that's going to inherently, you know, just be, you know, overly blown out as far as color goes. It looks so good. Look at the end scene with Florence Pugh's character in the flower dress. It's a very beautiful looking image. The colors look, you know, very bright, but not overly done so. Just everything looks good. The whole scene, so the aesthetic of the communal village of the Swedish there is really nice. It really complements the HDR, and it's over. The detail is fantastic. Everything looks so good, and it easily just dwarfs anything the Blu-ray put out. There's no question in my mind. It's a much better looking image. Audio-wise, I would say it's roughly about the same. We have a 5.1 soundtrack. There's no Atmos or anything to that effect, but I feel that's a director's intent. It was a director's choice. So the 5.1 is plenty. It's, I would say, roughly about the same as the standard Blu-ray. I had no problems whatsoever there. The music and the vocal cues are what really just give this an overly immersive track. It's just that opening, the opening 10 minutes of the film, and also any kind of you know, just the dialogue coming from the front channel sounds great. Everything in the 5.1 soundtrack sounds wonderful. It's a beautiful overall score. I mean, the music in here was so good. I downloaded it myself because it's that good, and it's very in the moment of what's happening on screen, and it's fairly consistent. You know, there are very quiet moments also where you hear like just the simple, like the air just blowing through your speakers, and it sounds great. It's an awesome audio track. Now, I'm going to give the overall presentation. I'm not going to base it off the subtitles or anything like that. That's just how it is. I'm going to give the overall presentation a solid A. I think at 4K, the Ultra HD just looks great. The HDR is fantastic. Audio-wise is right where it should be. And, you know, it really, at the end of the day, if you are a fan of this film and you kind of want to just, you want to get what's available, get the version in Italy. I think it's good. I don't know if we're ever going to get a 4K version, you know, here in the States. I like to think we will, but there just hasn't been any kind of rumors or rumblings about it, and it's been oddly kind of quiet from the director. So who knows what's going to happen. In the meantime, this is our best option. I really think it's worth checking out, especially if you're a huge fan. If this is a blind buy for you, you may want to check it out digitally first, or, you know, buy the Blu-ray or something. It's really something I wouldn't say like jump into as a blind buy, because you got to go through that extra effort for, you know, importing it here to the States. And also, you know, it's not a movie for everybody. I was just talking to somebody yesterday. It's kind of more or less like something they wouldn't go back to all the time. But I get that. I love the movie. I think it's brilliant. It's an awesome film, and I absolutely just very happy that I got it on 4K. So there it is again, one more time. And let me know in the comments below if you have checked it out in the 4K edition and what did you think of it. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.